All right. Alex Jones. Normally I'd be entertained by this. All right, but it's too much. People wonder what they can do to fight the powers that be. You've got to start somewhere. Where you can start is someone like Alex Jones. You can see that man in public. You can go up to him. You can actually get through to his radio show. You can say some truth in a few seconds before he cuts you off. Try that. In barrage. He's lying to all of you. Just because he tells you something that's out there doesn't mean that he put it out there. Somebody else did. And he's just jumping on the bandwagon. He quotes his sources. He didn't go get the story. He's never gotten any story. He takes other people's work and he profits off of it. But his job is disinformation. It's what he doesn't say is what's important. At first I thought, okay, it's just because he has a high moral standard when it comes to racism. But it's not that simple. You can be respectful of a race, but still talk about the truth at hand. He doesn't talk about the importance of Zionism. And that's it. He wants the Zionist money. And he is a tool. You can start by going after Alex Jones. If you really care about this 9/11 movement, you can pull him out. People like him and Richard Gage. Go try to find a building that Richard Gage designed. You won't. He's not an architect. It's not real. He goes around the country trying to sell DVDs. He doesn't help you. He doesn't try to file a lawsuit or start a political action committee with the money. These people, if they were real activists concerned about getting a new investigation out of Congress, they would approach Congress. They don't approach Congress. Case closed. All they want is your money, and they feed on your doubts and your fears. And you are the ones that give them their material. You tell them what they can work with. No different than any fashion designer that watches some innovative idea of somebody walking down the street and they say, wow, I can sell that. That's how it works. The proof is in the pudding, whatever that means. Or the proof is in the pudding with a double T. You know, you gotta put up or shut up. These people, the closest I've seen with the conspiracy spotlight people as being real is like Morgan Reynolds. But even him, because he had credentials about working for Bush as an economist. And his story is that he was so appalled by what he was seeing from the inside that he had to quit when the Iraq War started after 9/11. That he was just so flabbergasted by what he saw that he had to fight against it. But with him too, it's what he doesn't say. He joins in too much ridicule of anyone who doesn't completely agree with his point of view. And that is a key element to recognizing disinformation agents. They're gatekeepers. They have an agenda that they have to fight. And they have to dissuade and ridicule any opposition that's making any kind of sense. When they resort to ridicule and name-calling, you got to take it from the perspective of they're fighting for us. We're the ones that are ridiculed. We're called crazy. And they're fighting for us. They're supposed to be empathetic of how much it sucks to be called crazy and laughed at. Okay, so when they go ahead and do it to somebody else, when Alex Jones does it, Morgan Reynolds does it, even Judy Wood, all right? They do it. They do what the establishment does to them, which means that they are the establishment. I just have a personal theory that if they are getting a lot of attention and there's money behind them and they're not being killed, they're allowed to exist and say all this, they're an agent that's in on it being paid. And what corroborates that is what they don't do. If they were serious, they would file lawsuits. They would try to get political action committees and class action suits together. It's not hard to do. They could start a web page and just make an appeal saying, I want to fight this. and I want to meet in Wyoming at the state park, and I want to get as many people there as possible, and I want us to have subgroups, and we take orders, we communicate and give respectful orders to people that are elected as organizing officials, and we will form a mass retaliation against this disinformation campaign. If it was real, that's what they would do. And they don't. That's the one thing Americans can do to fight this, is to stand together. The idea is to break us apart, to have us fight amongst each other, frustrate us, pacify us. And it's working. They don't... It's horrifying. I don't know what... It's the one thing everybody should be doing, is standing together. Because anyone with any sense knows what 9/11 was from a basic sense, that the official story cannot possibly be true. In a way, it doesn't matter what the total truth is. If you're wrong about a few details, it doesn't matter. Building 7 is all she wrote, kind of thing. You should start with people like Larry Silverstein. Form a large group demanding that he is brought into a trial by his peers, not in the courts, by a large amount of people around the world to put that man on trial, demand that he answer their questions. And not stop until you get publicity, not stop until you get an answer. And then prosecute him in court. It would be very easy with him. He claims that he claims that he was not in the towers because he had a dermatologist appointment. Well, he's never... Try to get him to say the dermatologist's name and to verify that. Not to mention his whole family that worked in the towers were not there either. And they were there every other day other than 9/11. You're dealing with obvious lies. This isn't hard. And that's what's so frustrating and shocking about it all, is that Americans have not fought it when you can.